How's everybody doing out there, you guys? What's going on? This is kind of an impromptu stream right now. We haven't done this in a while. Usually I schedule these and we have a whole idea of what we want to talk about. But today I wanted to do something different. I just wanted to hang out with you guys. I feel like there's been so much going on that I haven't had a chance to really talk to a lot of you guys. I've been reading a lot of the comments. We've got the Film Stocks promotion that's going to wrap up. You've got 3 more days to enter a video into the Film Stocks promotion. That video is on my channel. If you look a couple videos back, that's like a $480 prize, free Film Stocks premium for a year. I've gotten so many crazy good videos from you guys. I can't wait to announce who the winner is on that one because it's going to be tough. There's a lot of good ones. I'm probably going to feature more than a few on this. Instead of doing just one of you, I'm probably going to show up, even if you haven't, whoever the eventual winner is, there were so many good ones that I may have to just feature a few channels because it was killer. There was some really good stuff that got sent out. I'm so impressed by all of you. But today I just want to talk to you. I want to hang out. Usually, I do a whole, put a questionnaire. I set these up in advance. But it's Saturday night. I just wanted to chill. It's been a long week. I worked my butt off this week. And I just wanted to sit and take some, talk to you guys in the chat. I don't care if you want to talk about Filmora, if you want to talk about how to grow your YouTube channel. Ask me the questions you want to ask, and I'll take them out of the chat, and we'll just chill for a while, right? How you guys all doing out there? You staying safe? It's been tricky. I got to tell you, I'm getting a little stir crazy. I was like, I'm going to go talk to my friends. I've been trapped in the house. I need to go talk to my friends in the community. A lot of really familiar faces I'm seeing out there. So great to see all of you guys come back in here. Hello, Lone Walker. It's good to see you, my friend. What do I'm going to jump right in. I got a question right in the chat right now. What do you think about DaVinci Resolve? I love DaVinci Resolve. I think it's fantastic. It's a different software than Filmora is. It's got a steeper learning curve. I feel the same way about Adobe Premiere Pro. The difference between, and I get asked this a lot, Daniel, what's the difference between like Filmora 9 and then like DaVinci and Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere? And I'll tell you right off the bat what the difference is that a lot of people don't understand. You can buy Filmora 9 with a discount code for under $50. I think I had codes, you could buy it for $42. Lifetime license, all the upgrades, Filmora 9, you're done. And it's got a really easy workflow. It makes it super simple to do all the things that you want to do. Hey, Jay, how you doing, pal? And I love it because once you buy it, you're done. It doesn't take a huge computer to run. Any video editing software takes a pretty solid system to run, but Filmora is pretty gentle. It doesn't take the kind of resources that some of the other big boys do. The difference between Filmora and some of the other ones is when you look at DaVinci Resolve, they have a free version, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. If you were looking for a totally free editing software to start with, DaVinci Resolve is good, but it demands more system resources. And then if you want to unlock everything to use all the features, it requires a license that I believe, quote, you guys can check for me. I think it's a $300. I want to say it's $299 for their license, which is still a pretty good price for a lifetime license. Way more than Filmora 9 though. And you need a slightly better computer to run it. Adobe Premiere Pro, which I think is a fantastic software. I have nothing bad to say about them, except you can't buy Adobe Premiere Pro. You don't buy that software. You lease it. It's like leasing a car or renting a car. Every month it costs you about $20, so it's about $249 a year. They do have discounts for like students and stuff, but you pay every year. So if you had that software and the price never changed and you used it for, 20 years, you're $4,000 into that software. I'm like, and I'm a guy that look, I want to buy it and I want to use it. That's why I like Filmora. But I push people towards Premiere. If there's things they ask me that we can't do in Filmora, I'm like, go ahead, try DaVinci, try Premiere, because there's a few of those softwares that do amazing things that Filmora 9 wasn't built to do. Filmora Pro does more of those. You guys know it has like motion tracking now. And it's got some keyframing features because Pro is like does a lot of the things that Filmora 9 didn't. But Filmora 9 does a bunch of stuff that Pro doesn't. It has a bunch of built-in features that are fantastic that you don't get in Pro. They're two completely different softwares. I always try to remind people that that Filmora built two different softwares, not designed to be one is the upgrade of the other. They're just different in case you wanted to do things differently. I'm going to read some of the chat questions. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to talk to you guys today. So let me do this. Come on, no sub to my channel. Come on now. Let's not do that. It's too early in the evening for that kind of stuff. Do you use Filmora or do you use something different? Bill Hayes, I actually use Filmora 9. I call it my daily driver. When I edit most of my videos, pretty much any tutorial you'll see, if it was Filmora 9, I'm talking about how to do something in Filmora 9, I filmed and edited everything in Filmora 9. If I'm doing a Filmora Pro tutorial, I filmed and edited everything in Filmora Pro. I've done Movavi. I did a bunch of Movavi videos. They've sponsored a bunch of videos on the channel. I love their software too. And I filmed and edited everything in Movavi because I thought it was fair. I thought I should use the software that I'm talking about and see what kind of product I could get. So you never have to guess. If I'm talking about Filmora 9, I edited everything in that video in Filmora 9. I don't play any tricks and do things in different software that you can't do. I want to show you exactly what you can do in the software I use. But I use Filmora 9. That's my daily driver. I use it literally 6.5 out of the 7 days a week. There are some things I can't do in Filmora 9. I think you guys recently, did you check out the, I showed you guys about Reaper. Did you guys check out Reaper? I had a audio tutorial. We did a live stream about showing you guys how to get Reaper for free, all the plugins for free. That's how I use my audio when I do like the really thick production of my audio to add reverb, compression, EQ, and really make it sound like that radio voice. A lot of people have said, Daniel, how do you get that voice? Like your sounds, sometimes I don't always hit it. I screw up too sometimes. But they go, a lot of times your tutorials, like the audio sounds really good. Like your voice sounds thick. And I do that by not only just having a reasonably good mic. This is an Audio-Technica AT2020, which isn't very expensive. But I everything I record, I go in afterwards and I send it through EQs and compression, and I spend time with it. And I did a whole video recently. It was a live stream called the Audio Production, where I showed all the stuff that I use and showed how to get all of it for free. I love free. Free's a good price. You can't beat free. Free is my favorite price out there. Let's see. How to do How to do the annoying orange effect in Filmora Pro. It's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing. They have the same masking features. You just have to, they're located in a different spot. A lot of people will ask me, hey, Daniel, thank you so much for doing a video in Filmora 9. Can you do it in Filmora Pro? And it's really hard for me to do that because and let me explain why. I am woefully behind on doing Filmora Pro videos. I should be doing more of them, more tutorials, and I will, I promise. But the majority of the community and the people I'm trying to reach use Filmora 9. So that's the main reason I tend to do more Filmora 9 videos. I use Filmora 9 more daily than I do Filmora Pro, even though I have both. Most of the people I talk to are using Filmora 9 or a version of it. Some are using Filmora 8. Some are using, earlier versions, as early as Filmora 7. So the vast majority of the people in the group, in our community, when we talk about Filmora, I want to give them stuff that reaches the most amount of people and has the most amount of importance to everyone. So Filmora Pro users, I owe you an apology. I've been slacking and doing more Pro videos, and I will. But I will probably not ever duplicate. If I do an effect in Filmora 9, I won't duplicate it in Pro. I'll always probably show you something you can do in Pro that you can't do in 9, right? Because that's the whole fun of it. I got to show you the differences. Because if I show you the same thing, it's like, we already saw that, Daniel. You already did that once. Hey, Daniel, you have to pardon my scrolling here. Sometimes the chat goes quickly. Let's see. Let me just catch this one. Hey, Daniel, how you make zoom but at same time rotation? How do you make a zoom but at the same time rotation? Rotation, a lot of people, I don't know if this is the question you're asking, Sync. You mean like, let me know in the chat if that's what you mean, like zoom, but then like turning it. That's really tricky. There's been a thing that I'm trying to find a hack for. A lot of people have asked me, Daniel, how can I get my footage to spin consistently, get it to keep turning? And there are some transitions in Filmora that allow you to rotate, but only for a transition. And I've been trying to figure out a hack where I can get like keyframing without it being like long keyframing to get the stuff to spin. Let me think about that. I might make a tutorial on that because I think rotation is a really important thing. In terms of zooming and panning, I've covered that a lot recently. The new Filmora 9.4.5, if you haven't downloaded, there's a link down in the description, has new pan and zoom options, which are killer, which are really good. They're really good. I'm very excited about the new pan and zoom options because they're things that we didn't have before, and I showed that recently. Let me see if I can just capture really quickly, and I'll show you. Maybe I can show you one of them. Let's see, screen 2. Does this do it? Yeah. Here's a piece of footage I have. If you are in Filmora 9, you got a piece of footage down in your timeline. A lot of times I talk about this. Whenever you bring anything down in your timeline, that's when it really becomes active, and you can do something with it. Right-click on this down in your timeline, choose pan and zoom or crop and zoom, and now you have the ability to do all sorts of things with that footage. And in here, what you can do, if you click on pan and zoom, they've got new features over here. Let me see if I can center better. Right there. All of these new ones, this will invert these start windows. So if you ended up clicking on one of these and moving it, and you moved it around, and you're like, oh, man, I think I moved it. I want to reset it. We used to have to log out and start again. Now you can reset them. These will reset right back to if you mess something up, if you click something down. Really, really cool that you can just hit these buttons and they reset and they invert. Start box on the inside, start box on the outside. Kind of cool. Let me get I got notifications going all day long. So one of the other things that you can do is when you're inside of using the crop and zoom, see we're in crop and zoom and we're in pan and zoom here. If you click on these, they already set up the boxes where you can go right, left to right, and backwards, right to left. I love these new presets. Let me close all these notifications. I'm sorry, I'm getting all kinds of notifications. So you can actually make this crop pan right across your footage. This used to be something that was harder to do. We'd have to build the boxes equally and then get them to move across. Now the new crop and zoom tool in 9.4.5 actually does all that for you, where it presets the boxes equal size left and right and moves right across your footage. I would definitely start there for doing any kind of a I know you're talking about a pan. You want to pan and rotate. I would start with a straight pan and then move towards the rotate. Where can I find different extra? This is from D. Allen TV. Where can I find extra different background sounds for vlogging? I put a video out about this recently. If you go into background sounds, this is my favorite place to go. Guys, if you don't know this, we're all YouTube content creators. Make sure you do this. When you're in YouTube and you click on your icon and you go to YouTube Studio Beta, that will get you into beta, hopefully beta. Down here on the left, let me see if I can do lower left. This might get a little closer. Can you guys see right here, this says audio library? Click on that audio library. And this is the best thing ever. Not only do you have all this free music that you can go through, but it's got a full sound effects tab here that you can sit here and pull up all kinds of free sound effects that YouTube gives you that you can use in your projects as long as they're hosted on YouTube. All of these things are free to use. This is one of the best resources out there. I talked about this recently. Production Crate was another one that I mentioned. Production Crate is great. Even Filmstocks has some free stuff that you can download. The Halloween Sounds Pack is amazing. I use the Halloween Sounds Pack all the time. Explosions and stuff. And it's free, completely free. It's one of my favorite ones. But the YouTube audio library for music, pretty much every song you hear in any one of my videos in the background or something I use in a tutorial, I got from the YouTube audio library because it's that good. It's literally that good. I'm like, I can't believe how good it is. You just have to pick through the stuff a bit and then find the tunes you like. And they let you kind of go through them, and you can search things by genre, by music type, if you want more rap or hip hop, or you want it upbeat, happy, or sad. Definitely start there. Great place to live. Let's see. AG Studio says, I've seen the audio library. It's pretty cool. It's very cool. The only thing I will tell you guys is be careful that the YouTube audio library is absolutely free for anything you're putting on YouTube. Some of the music will come with a little, let me quickly see if I can show you one. Maybe I'll find one for you. Some of the music, if you pick a song, let me click on, I want to see if I can find one that has and sound effects. In the free music, some of these will have, see how it says it's free to use, it's free to use. Some of them will have what they call an attribution. I can actually search by attribution required. You can actually filter. These ones all have this, you have to add this bit of text into your description. If you don't want to have, and it's no big deal, you're still free to use it. You just have to put this in the description of your video, giving the artist credit. But if you look over here, it says, you can filter by attribution or required or not required. You could click that, and then everything here, no attribution. You just use it. You're good to go. Put it in your video that's on YouTube. Just be careful, because if you make a video for YouTube and you use something from the YouTube audio library, even though it's free and free to use on YouTube, if you take that video and then decide to upload it to Facebook or upload it to your website, be really careful, because the very strict policy around this stuff is that stuff is not free to be used on other sites. You can upload your link. You can put your share link so that if your video is on your website and you click the link and it plays the video, it's embedded and it's playing the YouTube video, you're fine. If you share the link, if you embed it on a website, anywhere you're embedding the YouTube link, you're fine. But if you make a video and you use the YouTube audio library and you do maybe you got hired to do a job and you said, oh, I know where there's some free music. I'm going to make you this intro you want for your Facebook page, and I can get free music from the YouTube audio library. Be really careful, because you're not covered under that scenario. It's only while it's being hosted on, it's free to use for anything that's hosted on YouTube. Does that make sense? So just be careful. Be careful about that. I think sometimes people think it's just free for the entire world. Like, I can use this anywhere. Well, you kind of can. I mean, it's free, but it just has to be hosted on YouTube. Do effects packs work on Filmora Pro? No, most of the, who was it? I want to give you some credit for asking it. AG Studios. Most of the effects packs are designed to work with Filmora 9. One of the things I want you guys to understand is, I get this question a lot, that people say to me like, oh, I can't wait to upgrade to Filmora Pro, which Filmora Pro does do a lot more things than Filmora 9. It's very detailed. You can go deeper, but it's not an upgrade. It's a different software. It was designed for people who don't like all those cool shortcuts and quick transitions and stuff that you click a few buttons and you're right there and you've got your fast workflow and boom, you're done and you move on. It's designed for people like, I don't want all the shortcuts. I want to spend a lot of time ripping things apart and doing things with a lot. I want to spend a lot of time on my edits, and I want to be able to dig very deep in, more like you would on a DaVinci Resolve or a Premiere Pro. So keep that in mind. It's designed to be an alternative to Filmora 9, not an upgrade. If you're using Filmora 9 and you love it, but there's a couple of features you wish it was in there, and you go, well, I should go to Filmora Pro, do the trial version of Filmora Pro before you ever switch, because you might find out that's not the software for you. And if you've been using Filmora Pro and you're thinking, oh, I wish there was some faster stuff that I would like to be able to just click a few buttons and have all these transitions just be there, be careful, because things that you're used to in Filmora Pro aren't in Filmora 9. Two very different softwares designed to be, one's a race car, one's a delivery truck. They weren't designed to be the same thing or an upgrade of each other. They were designed for two different types of editors who wanted different things out of their software. Me, every day, I'm a Filmora 9 guy. I have them both, but Filmora 9 is my daily driver. Let's see, what do we got going on? Tish, how you doing? Could you edit most things in Filmora Pro and go back and put stuff in from Filmora 9 without exporting? You cannot open a Filmora 9 project in Filmora Pro and vice versa, because they're saved as different types of files with different type of information. So no, it would be like I said, they're so different, Tish. It would be like having an Adobe Premiere Pro project and trying to open it up in Filmora 9. They aren't, even though the thing that messes people up is they both have the name Filmora in them. But it's just, I say this a lot. It's like if you go to Chevrolet, Chevy makes, they make pickup trucks and they make Corvettes. They both say Chevrolet at the beginning, but they are completely different things. And the two things are not designed to interact, other than they're made from the same manufacturer. So no, they aren't designed to interact in that way. If you're a Filmora 9 user, be a Filmora 9 user. If it's not doing the things you want, you really want to get deep, then go into Filmora Pro. But I will say it's a steeper learning curve. It takes more time to really figure out all the nuances. And it requires more system resources. So you have to have a more powerful computer to run it. That was part of the thing. Filmora 9 was designed to be something that an average user could put on their average computer and edit video. Everybody keeps asking for more because it's cheap, right? You go, well, it's so cheap. It's like $50-$60 and I get this for life. Now can you make it can you make it fly to the moon? Well, what happens is every time that Filmora listens and adds in a new feature, it means it needs more system resources and your computer needs to run harder to do all the things you're asking for. So Filmora, Wondershare people, they're in a tough situation where they want to give us everything we ask for, but this was never designed to be Adobe Premiere Pro. It was designed to be that real quick race car. Just get you here and there and back. Get you that thing done, get it done really cool. And you know me, I'm always showing you tricks to kind of, hack around stuff. But there's some things that I think we all want. We all have said, I think we all would like to see motion tracking, or we'd all like to see keyframing. I'd like to see some more audio features. And we may get them. We'll see how it goes. We'll keep asking. But it'll always be designed for people who don't have to buy, a $3,000 laptop to run it. That's not what it wants to be. And I like that. Wraith, good to see you, my friend. Scully, good to see you too, my friend. Scully, did you end up getting a new computer? My pal Scully, I know he was getting a new computer. He was talking about finally dipping in and actually getting getting Filmora. Daniel, how can you get a rainbow overlay? Like a rainbow? Create like a rainbow? It's a good question. I bet you could probably find that. I always say Production Crate. Have you guys, I talk about this one a lot. Let me share my screen here for you. I'll pull it up. Production Crate is really cool. I love Filmstocks because Filmstocks has a lot of stuff, but Filmstocks has some free stuff and then some paid stuff. But I use this other site also that's called Production Crate. I made a video on this. That's on my channel about free motion graphics. Production Crate, let me share this with you. Production Crate, this is productioncrate.com, and it's got all kinds of free and paid, both, VFX, it's got music, it's got graphics, it's got 3D, and they're pretty straightforward that if you look up something like, what did you just ask me? I even forgot what you just asked me, but if you wanted something like, I remember recently someone said, hey, is there a blood splatter effect? And you go, oh, yeah, is there blood? Let me type blood in here. And then you see that there's motion graphics, sounds, textures, objects, and you can look it up in different things like graphics and textures. And you can click on one of these and it'll pull up the options for different blood spatters. See these? Now, some of these are free and some of them you have to pay for. Pretty much if you click right here, can you guys see this? Let me see if I can get a little closer to the middle. That's a little better. If you hang over this on Production Crate, and you'll see if you go to this down arrow, it says download here. The upper one has a star next to it. That's a paid version. It's a little more detailed and high definition effect. The one below you can download for free. And the free downloads are actually pretty good, but blood splatters, things like that, that's a really great place to go. If you're looking for that extra stuff, like where the heck am I going to find like broken glass and blood splatter, and I need a rain effect. I want to make it feel like it's raining. A lot of times, Production Crate will have that for free. Not every time, but they have a lot of stuff that's really cool. Definitely check out Production Crate. I love that site. Really, 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 really good. What do we got here? I'm checking out a retweet from D-Nim, and nice to meet you. Hey, man, Stacy Morgan, I really appreciate the super chat. That means a lot. I appreciate D sending you over. D is the man. D and I have a show on TubeBuddy where we're talking all about how to grow your YouTube channel. And he's been a big influence of mine. Especially he and his brother together, Nick. They're just such amazing creators. And for any of you people who are filming on using your phone, some of us use cameras, some of us use phones, some of us use both. If you're someone who's creating mostly on your mobile device like this, let me see if I can put this in the chat. Make sure you earmark D. Nimen's channel. DEE, he's so good. Do we have a mod in here? One of my mods. Wraith, hey, Wraith, do you mind finding D's channel and putting a link in the chat? D is so good. He'll show you the latest apps to put on your phone to get the cameras to work better. He'll show you how to edit on your phone, all the editing apps. He's just how to make thumbnails using your phone, all the different thumbnail apps, what's free, what's paid, which one is better. He kills it. If you're creating on your mobile device, make sure that you go to D's channel and subscribe, because he's got a stockpile of content there, and he's really easy to follow along. He's really he's one of those guys that just makes great content. It's really easy to follow, not complicated, gets right to the point, shows you what it is. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, thank you. Oh, there we go. Trey has it up there. Thank you so much, my man, Dean Emmon. Definitely check out his site for any mobile creators. Yeah, Tish, D is the man. He's so great. Let's see, Stacy, you've used your mobile device for 2 years. Me too. Do you know, I say this a lot. You know, the highest performing video on my channel was done. Here, you guys want to see something crazy? For anyone who thinks that you cannot, pardon while I turn my head, who thinks that you cannot make a successful channel using nothing other than your phone, let me show you something that will crack you up. I just got to find one video on my channel. This is one of the very first videos that I made on my channel. Let's see. Let me go here. Let me just share the screen for you guys can see it. It's pretty funny. This video I made with a Samsung Galaxy S6. It was like a broken phone. It's things like 5 or 6 years old. This video drives, this is insane. It drives in the last 48 hours. It's driven almost 4,000 views. And the thing just keeps making me money. It's not a big money maker, but it's out there. It makes me about $100 a month on that one video. Keeps driving views. If I look at it like in the last 90, it's been exploding. It just keeps doing better and better. I'm like, sweet. Sit there, mate. Whoops. Make sure I hit the right button here. It's that is one of the highest performing videos on my channel, driving a couple thousand views a day. And I made it with a crappy, beat up Samsung Galaxy S6. I took my time. I tried to make it look good. And I say to everybody, like, man, if you don't understand that it really does come down to the content, that means more than anything else, I would really try to impress that upon you. I think a lot of people get wrapped up in like, I've got cool stuff. I've been fortunate enough that I've done well enough on YouTube that I can buy cooler stuff and I have cooler gear. But the highest performing stuff on my channel was done with really older gear. You can do it. You can do really well. You can make great Filmora videos. This is why I always try to teach you guys like how to use Filmora and take advantage of, get better lighting. Spend a little extra money and buy, spend $30 worth of bulbs and get some good light on you. Spend a little extra time learning how to use your editing software. Because you can make videos that drive, 500,000 views with a phone, and it'll make you money. They'll sit there and they'll make you money every day, and people will watch and they'll provide value. It's all about using what you have, using the things that you have. I'm a huge fan of it, making things better when you can, but I'm also a huge fan of, don't feel like your phone is holding you back, or the fact that you don't have a camera is holding you back. Use what you have. Make something great. Make something great. A little bit better lighting. This is why I did that whole video on how to improve your audio. This microphone here, I bought. This is old. This mic is probably 10 years old, maybe even older. And I bought it for under $100 back then. And it's not a USB mic. It's an XLR. It goes through a preamp. I had it. It was a mic that I used, and I because I was a musician, and I liked it. It was cheap at the time. I bought it as a spare. It works good for this, and it does what I needed to do. And I've looked at like the Shure SM, 7B, you name it. They have a Neumann here, but this one does what I needed to do. And sometimes it's better to have something that you know how to work with and just get the most out of it than always be thinking about that next thing that you need to buy. Huge fan of just using what you have, making great stuff, reaching out and make better content. Just keep making content. Let's see. I'm just reading a few. Content is everything. Oh my gosh, I can't agree more, Stacy. Content is everything. Alvin, you rock. No, you rock. You rock. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gabriella, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Did you just put the kids to sleep? Glam Girl Gabby, she's so great. She's in our members only group. I should mention that we have a members only group that has content that's just for members only. If you look right below the stream, you'll see there's a join button. There should be a join button. Or if you go to my channel or any of my videos, it says join. It's $4.99 a month that you can quit anytime. We have our own private Facebook group. We're in there discussing strategy, how to grow channels. We have our own private content that only the members can see. We have our own private live streams where we pull up channels. We do deep dives. We talk about strategy all day long. Gabby is one of these girls. She's just killing it. She's doing so great. When I met her, she's like, she wanted to do something on YouTube. She was really starting to get her feet wet, and now I'm watching her, and she's just crushing it. She's crushing it. She's gonna be everything she touches just gets better and better. So very impressed with my friends. Paul Peck. Speaking of people who are crushing it, Paul Peck Drywall. How you doing, pal? Good to see you. Love my enthusiasm. Well, we'll see. My enthusiasm lately has been a little low. It's been tough. That's why I wanted to sit here today and just talk to you guys for a second, because I've been overworked. I kind of feel, I know a lot of people out there are like really have been struggling. It's been home and not working, and I feel so badly. I've been donating to a lot of places, donating food banks. I'm really trying to help out. But I'm a blessed individual where I work from right here, and I'm lucky, other than the fact that, my girlfriend's home. She's been unemployed. She's on unemployment now. My son is home, and I've been working on, algebra homework with him every day. But I work from home, and I've been able to keep working. But it's been tricky out there, and I've been really worried about some of the people out there who have just been struggling to make ends meet. That's why I do so many of these tutorials. It's like, man, if you can make a few more bucks on YouTube, I'll help you. I'll help you grow your channel. I'll help you make better content. I'm here. If I can help in that sense, that's what I'm here for. I want all of you to make a little more money and be successful on YouTube, so that when things like this happen, you can have a little extra income coming in, something you can do from home. It works. I promise it works. Let me see. Ravik Poulet. Hi, Daniel. How do I change X and Y positions, transform properties that increase over timeline so I can move my green screen Filmora 9 film? Okay, that was a big question. You cannot do any, you're talking about keyframing. In Filmora 9, there really isn't any keyframing. One of the things that people wrestle with is they're like, Daniel, I want to take this thing, I want to put it here, and I want to have it move across my screen, stop, move it up, move it over. That's keyframing, and Filmora 9 currently doesn't have that. We'll see if they add it, and be able to rotate on the X and Y axis. It's not something, you can do it manually. I think I've shown you guys a bunch of times where you can frame by frame move it and then adjust it, and then it'll work out. It's okay for short things, but not so much for longer pieces. We'll see if Filmora gets into that and does a longer, a full keyframing tool. That would be very cool. Let's see. Daniel, how do I make a background gray and black, but the color of an object remain with the raw colors? That's from Fade to Black Films. So, or Fade to Black? Fade to Black. Fade to Black, right? Fade to Black. I think I got it there. That's a good question. So I think what you're asking is like, how do I do, they did this in the, what was the, I'm forgetting the movie series. That was Quentin Tarantino, where they did like a whole black and white scene, and then the woman would come walking through, but her dress was red. The problem with Filmora 9, not the problem, it just doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't have intelligent masking, which is the ability to select a section, and then it doesn't have keyframing or motion tracking to do that thing that you want to do. Like if you wanted to say, I'm going to make this all black and white, except for the dress on this woman as she walks across screen, you'd have to take frame by frame, export it, do the colorization, and bring it back in. There is no push button feature for that. Tommy Bernhard, thank you for joining. Welcome to the memberships group. Make sure anyone who's a member, welcome to our group. Go to my community tab. You'll suddenly see that you have the ability to see stuff that no one else can, which is all this content made just for you. And in those posts, you'll see members only. There's a link to the Facebook group, which you can join. Make sure you join the group. It's the best group in the world. It's awesome. That's all we do is talk about this stuff. When we're talking about that color correction thing, YouTube does not have intelligent masking or motion tracking. I know it's one of those things you go, oh, I wish it did, but that's why I said earlier, There's a reason that Adobe Premiere Pro gets, $250 every single year from all of their users, is because those are advanced features. They require a very advanced computer because it takes a lot of memory to do that kind of tracking and motion and masking. Trust me, if you're sitting home on your laptop and thinking, yeah, I'll do this effect, you better have an iMac. You better have a MacBook Pro that can handle it, or you better have like a really nice HP laptop to do that, because it it uses up so much memory. The reason I build my own computers is because they're so expensive. I have another whole build sitting here. I'm just waiting for the power supply. I've been talking about this. I wanted to show you guys how to build a computer that can edit 4K and do all the things that you needed to do for cheap money. They charge so much money for computers. The computer I'm running right now that does all of my edits was under $1,000. It was under $900. The new one I got's a little more expensive because I bought a slightly better CPU. But still, you can put together a whole tower, minus the monitor and the keyboard, but everything you need for under $1,000 or around $1,000, and it will handle Filmora, and your exports will fly. Everything will move quickly. I'm going to make a tutorial on this build that for the next computer I'm building in the next week or two, and post it up, just because I think people think it's really hard to build a computer. I'm an idiot. If I can build a computer, you can build a computer. If you're a PC person. Ryzen 9 3950. Yeah, I got the 3900 because I'm cheap. I'm like the 3950's a little faster. It's a more of a let me see if I can explain this. One of the things, and I want to explain this to you guys. One of the things that people get confused on is some people think that they think in terms of gaming computers. Gaming is so big that everybody thinks that you need a gaming computer to edit video, and nothing could be further from the truth. One of my friends, Danielle Hallett, explained this really well. She said a gaming computer, when you're trying to stream and you're trying to game and you're trying to play one game, that is the race car. You need a computer that goes back and forth across the internet. You're doing one thing, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, really fast. The race car. You need overclocking, super, super fast processor, boom, 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 boom. You gotta have super high-end graphics card. It's about going here to there to here to there, doing one thing in one lane, super fast. Video editing software requires your computer to operate in a different way. You actually don't need that super fast overclocking type of feel. What you need is more cores, more threads, and it's more like instead of having that one race car, you need like a bunch of delivery trucks that can do a bunch of stuff all at once. Like this one doesn't have to go as fast as a race car. Just be able to give this one a mission. It has to effectively go do that and come back without being hindered. At the same time, 9 other delivery trucks have to be going out and doing their missions and coming back simultaneously with none of those things being interrupted. So there's a little bit different build that you would do for an editing computer than you would a gaming computer. And people get confused because you hear about, I'll talk all day to people like I'm building another computer. They're like, why did you go with that motherboard? Why did you go with that CPU? Well, it's because I'm not a gamer. I don't need it. I'm not trying to stream, 60 frames per second, or better or higher. People are like 240, 1440. They're going nuts. I'm not trying to do that. It's a different need. So I want to make sure I show you guys how to build a computer affordably, because I think people get so overwhelmed. Like, I need to spend $5,000 or $3,000 to buy a computer that'll run my software. I'm like, no, you can do it for like $900. So I'll definitely make that video. 12 cores. Yeah, that's what I'm running too, my friend. My Stathis Optimus. That's exactly what I'm running. Same thing. 64 gigabytes of RAM I'm putting in this one though. Which is overkill. Doesn't need to be. But I bet you're right. You have no problem editing, right, on that machine. How to be your member. Like I said before, this is Dark. You got so many symbols in your name, I can't read it. Dark FDK. Memberships is not available in every region. If you go to my channel, or if below this stream, if you see the join button, you can join. It's not available in every country right now. They're trying to expand it, but if you see the join button, you can join. I know it stinks. I wish it was available for everybody. But for the time being, anyone who sees the join button, either below my channel, if you go to my channel and see join, or if you see the join button below any of my video watch pages. You'll see it right below the video screen. That's how you join. Any coupon code for buying Filmora? Great question from, no, it's, oh, you deleted it? I kind of like that one. Oh, no, it's still there. Sorry, it was the other one. From Cyram P. I used to have a coupon code that would allow you to use Filmora 9 or Filmora Pro free for a month and then give you a 30% off discount. I've been trying to get another one. The problem is if they're running any other promotions anywhere on the internet, they can't give me my code because there's whatever the corporate says it doesn't interact well. So they try to they try to run one promotion, and when they're not running one, then I can ask for a code. So for the time being, I don't have one, though I will say licensed TubeBuddy users, if you're a licensed TubeBuddy user, they still have the deal as a member's perk that you can get that free 30-day trial and 30% off, which is a really great deal. But I'm working on getting another one. For the time being, we're doing the free film stocks giveaway, which is worth almost $500, a whole year of premium. If you have not entered a video into the contest, there is a video on my channel. All you got to do is go to my channel. Let me show you real quickly so I make sure that we're all up to speed here. If you go to my channel, let me go back here. And on my channel, if you click on the videos tab right here, you will see this videos gives you all of my recent stuff. This video right here, win film stocks. Click on that, check out the rules. And then if you make a video, just upload it to YouTube and put the link, the YouTube link to that video in the comments of my my win film stocks video right there, this one right here. And we've got 3 more days to do this. We're going to close it in 3 more days, and then myself and the good people at Filmora will be sitting down looking at all of the entries and judging who's going to win this thing. And it's like, for making a video, it only has to be 60 seconds long or longer and meet the rules in the description. You could win like a $480 prize, free film stocks, everything, premium. You get to use everything on film stocks for a year. I love that promotion. I think it's great. It's going to be very cool. So make sure you've checked that out if you haven't. Let's see. I buy a Filmora license cheap on eBay, but you cannot update the software. That's because it's not a real license. You have to really, for the price of Filmora, we run a lot of promotions, and there's promotions you can find. If you went onto Googled Filmora discount code, they're easy to find. Filmora is always running promotions somewhere. You can usually buy Filmora 9 for about $50, all said and done. And it's a lifetime license. It applies to any update that they make from here on out. So when they make Filmora 9, Filmora 10, Filmora 11, you keep getting all the updates. Spend the money. I got to tell you, it's the best deal out there. I love Filmora. I love the price. I love the product. They update it so much. They work really hard on making it better. Definitely think about actually buying the real license. It's the smartest thing you can do because I think it's well worth it. Let's see. Any chance, let me see, comic book nostalgia. Any chance the folks at Filmora give us a new tool set for animation? I did an animation video. I've been asked a lot about that, my friend, like how to combine animation and do more things with animation in Filmora. It's not really built for that. Things like Toon Boom. Toon Boom is fantastic for doing real animation, like cartoon animation. That's a paid software. Blender, you can make Pixar type movies, and it's free. It's open source. Blender is amazing, but it's expensive. Not expensive. Let me catch my words. It is an extreme learning curve. That's what I was trying to say. It's free, but it's very hard to learn it because it's got a lot of features, and it takes a long time to learn. I think people in our community, we love Filmora because a lot of things can be done by pushing a button and it happens. And that's the beauty of Filmora. In most video editing softwares, that doesn't happen. You usually have to go through a lot of steps to create something. It takes time and patience. And even when I show hacks to do things in Filmora, if it's more than 3 steps, people are like, oh, that seems complicated. That's what it's like in the real world. And animation is complicated. So I don't think we'll see a lot of animation type things other than if it's physical animation. But if you're talking about animation, about the motions they add, that could be the other question you were asking. Good question. They've added some. There are some, and some of the effects packs add different features. If you look at the effects packs, some of them will add different graphics, different overlays. So they each have different things. I don't know if any of them, I'm trying to think if any of them have specific animations. They have animations that are tied into some of like the lower thirds and stuff. So like some of the effects packs will come with their own special lower thirds, as some of you guys have seen with the Film Stocks promotion we're doing. You know, like the crayons pack has specific animations that they all move a certain way. So we'll see. It's a good question. One thing I want to make sure, anytime you guys think that there's something that Filmora should be doing, go into Filmora. This is the best way to get something done around here. If you're looking for, hold on a second. Let me see if I can find where I'm at here. Let me pull myself back together. I got 9 screens going on. If you are working on something and you go like, man, I wish they had, here we go. I wish they had this feature. In Filmora, go up to the Help tab in the upper left and scroll down, and there is a new feature request button. Click on that, and it'll take you directly to the Filmora Wondershare community forums, where it will go faster if you had a better computer than the crappy one I'm using to capture this. And you can actually request new features. I love this. You can actually say, hey guys, could you put something in here? And people can vote. If you look, you can actually upvote the different things people say, and the stuff that you can vote on, like, hey man, use some new titles and transitions or mono settings. People, you can vote on what you want, and Filmora looks at the suggestions, and when people ask for more stuff, that's when we get it. When they hear a lot of voices asking for something, that's when we see them start to pop up on in the new updates. So always use that feature, new feature request. If there's something you're like, man, I wish they had this, absolutely use the new feature request and ask for it. It is absolutely the way that we get the things that we really want heard by the Filmora developers. Great tips. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate that. Let me look at some of the questions. I'm just trying to catch up with some of the questions in chat here. Hi, Daniel. Do you teach Filmora or Filmora Pro in your paid membership? I'm looking to learn Filmora Pro. In my paid membership, like I said, it's $4.99 a month. And it's more YouTube growth driven. That's really what we talk about. But the thing is, we have our own private Facebook group that comes with it, where you can talk to me. Pretty much, we talk in there every day. So if you have specific questions, if you're working on something, like in the comments section, I definitely try to help and talk to people in the comments section, but I can't post images. I can't post links. It's very hard for me. I mean, I can post links, but I can't post like a video clip and go, oh, people will ask me questions like, Daniel, how do you do this in Filmora? And I can't quickly like screen capture, oh, click here, circle down and do that. In the comments section, in my private group, I can do that. I can go, oh, no problem. I can quickly capture something or make a quick little video and show people in the memberships group the thing that they were asking and help them get through the problems. Or if you're having a problem, because you can only post a comment on YouTube, you can actually show me, you can post your video in the group or a clip of your video and go, Daniel, see how it's skipping here? I'm trying to fix that. So that's the purpose of the group, is we dive deeper, not only into content creation, but how to grow your YouTube channel as well. Really fun group. If you're not a member, totally worth it. It's one of my favorite places to be. I spend way too much time there. Let me see. You're about to receive a YouTube button. I just noticed. I'm getting close. A button? You mean silver play button? Getting close. We're getting close. We're getting near 80. I'm knocking on wood. One of the things that I said about this channel, people say to me all the time, I have a really great community. You guys are great. Where a lot of you guys will say, like, I'll have people come in and go, man, you should have a lot more subscribers. But I'm in a very small niche. It's a very tricky niche. I think I have a lot of subscribers for how long I've been doing this, which is less than 2 years. And the channel's been growing well. And I would love to have a silver play button and show people that you can actually build a channel to a silver play button in 2 years. That would be fantastic if I had it and put it up on the wall and say, I did it. You can do it. We can all do it. And if I did it all by making videos with Filmora 9, which is what I use, man, there's no excuse. Anyone can do it. If this knucklehead can do it, I'm doing it because I want to show you guys it can be done. That's my whole mission here. Let's see. What do we got? How to make a lyrics video. That's a great question. The entertainment. I have a couple of videos up. A lyrics video, and I know what that means. People ask me a lot of times, like if I'm making a song and you want to have the lyrics do something. There are so many different ways to do that. I have some videos on my channel. There was this, I did this one recently, a text bounce, where someone had asked me this question. It was based on a video, music video, that when the lyrics went by, they, let me go back. The lyrics just, this was it. It just kept popping up on screen. So this is one great video here, the text bounce video. I showed how to do this music. I copped this music lyric video thing and did the exact same thing. This was me doing it in Filmora, making it bounce like that. I keep hitting the wrong buttons here today. I apologize. There's a lot of easy ways to do that. Typically all you're trying to do is, the biggest thing you're trying to do is sync up your lyrics with the audio. That's the thing. I think a lot of times people have trouble figuring out how to sync their lyrics up because, like, how do I do a lyrics video? You literally, what you want to do is, let me go over here. Let me see if I can do this and hit the right buttons. If this was an audio track, let me do this. I'm going to detach my audio. Let me kill this. Now it's just an audio track. So if this was just a music track, you could listen and go, oh, okay, I get it. This is the lyrics to the song right here, right? It's playing along. Let me stretch this out more. This is the lyrics to the song, and it's playing along, and you can actually see the waveform down here. Can you see that waveform? Like, here's the first line of the song. There, actually, you can see the wave of the person singing the song. If you said, okay, well, I want to do a lyric video, all you do is import, right? Use the import feature, import a media file, find the song you want to use, right? Bring it in, and when you have your audio track in your timeline, then all you have to do is click on the upper left. Let me see if I'm doing this right. I hope I'm not blocking you out too much. In the upper left on the import, this is where you'd bring it in. Import something, right? To bring in, this is what you do. Import that, bring it into your import window, and then bring your audio down into your timeline. And then you'd want to put some titles on top of it. So what you do is just click on the titles tab and find some titles you want to use. A lot of times I'll start right with the included and start with default. I'll start typing default up into the search window, find default titles, bring that down. And let's say from here to over here, I just know there's a couple of lines. Maybe this first line says, the first line of the song. Maybe it's only this long. So I'll clip my titles. Make sure I'm only clipping the titles. And get rid of the extra stuff so that my title track is only as long as the lyric I'm trying, because you can left click, grab it, move it around. So maybe right here, this is the first line of the song, and I look and I go, here's the first line of the song, and it stops here. It's like, all right, okay, cool. There's the first line of the song, and it ends right here. Well, what's the first line of the song? Left click on that titles tab and write what the first line of the song is. This is the first line, right? So here's your first line of the song. Boom, you just made the first line. Now it comes time, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to right click on this in my timeline and click copy. Now it comes over here and you go, okay, where's the second line of the song? Oh, it starts right here. I'm listening as I'm playing my track. I'm listening. Oh, here's the second line. Let me click right here and let's go paste. I've now taken that. It's the same first line twice, but let me click on it and go, okay, this is the second line. Here's the second line. This is the second line, right? Lyrics video. This is a lyrics video. And then I'll paste over here and go, okay, this is the third line. You're typing in the actual lyrics to the song, right? So you get the point. And what happens is that video plays. I've done this very short, but it'll change lines as it goes by each one. And you can slide them around. You can make them go longer to time align them. You can do things like, here's something someone asked me the other day, said, how do you get them? They called it a blinking effect. Whoops. I've got the auto ripple on. They said a blinking effect. You can do things like you can go up in the transition tab in the upper left and find dissolve. and bring dissolve down. Let me grab that dissolve right here. I'll bring it to the end of this track and shorten it. And then I'm going to put a dissolve at the beginning. These are all short lines, but I'll put a dissolve at the beginning and a dissolve at the end. Let me shrink it down so you can see it. I'll put another dissolve at the beginning of this one. Shrink it down. I'll put a dissolve at the end. And then what happens is your lines will slowly start to, let's start from the beginning, they'll fade in and fade out. See how they're fading in and fading out? That's all there is to it. That's really, in a nutshell, how you do a lyric video, is to just put your music in there, put title tracks above it, and start building individual lines for the text that goes along with the lines that are being sung by the person in the actual song. And you can have them bounce in, you can have them dissolve in, you can have them fade in, but just line by line by line by line, each section, and then grab the ends and move it so that when the line gets sung, that's where that line starts in your timeline. And when that line is done being sung, that's where it ends, and start the next line. It's just a matter of listening in your playback and aligning them. Does that make sense? I do those all the time. Ton of funs. How do you submit a question? Barry, you just did. I'm kind of just pulling them out of the chat. Let's see. Hey, Daniel, how have you been? Thank you for watching my trailer. I released it. Next Gen Ownage. Yeah, that was a great trailer. I actually really like that one a lot. There's been some really great videos that have been put in recently. I try to catch up with people who put the contest videos in. Some really great ones. Hey, Daniel, can you do this when a person's moving on? Wow. Can you do this when a person moving on black and white video then turn into colorful? Okay. Let me explain this one. I've explained this one before. The person themselves, not necessarily, but you can do it with a transition between black and white and colorful. I've covered this one before. Let me grab my screen here and show you. Let me get rid of all this text stuff that we're doing here. We were doing all these lyric tracks. Let's say, let me bring this, this was me, just some raw footage from something I did. I was getting ready to film here. Here's me bouncing around, fixing mics and whatever, right? So here is, let's say I was getting ready to do my video. That's me using my gray cards and whatnot. Let me find a section here. Okay, let me cut this section out. If you want to change from something into color, let me get a section where I'm kind of talking here. I'm just going to snip this out so I have just this. Okay, here's a section of video that's just me trying to not make mistakes saying my lines. I'm probably making a lot. This is in color. What I can do is I can take this video right here, right? I'm going to move it out a bit. I'm going to right click on it, hit copy. I'm going to go back in this track here. I'm going to put it before it just to do it this way. I'm going to right click and put paste. Now I have the exact same piece of footage. See how these are exactly the same. If I stack them on top of each other identically, this would be the exact same piece of footage going on in two tracks. No difference. They're exactly the same timing. But watch what you can do. Let me take the top one. I'm going to left click on this top one. Can you see this left one? I'll left click here. And then in the upper left, I'm going to choose the color tab. And you can do this a few ways. I'm going to use the 3D LUT. I'm going to use the drop down of this 3D LUT. There was a custom LUT I gave away that was a black and white, but I think it's a little better than Filmora's, but that's me being biased. Here's a black and white. I just made that into black and white footage, right? So now I've got a black and white one on top. Let me give you full screen. Here's a black and white piece of footage on top. And if I turn off the view of this, you've got the color one down below. They're identical. One's black and white. They're moving exactly the same. One's color. This is what you do. Go into the middle of them, the two pieces of footage, and split them both. Split them both. Now, let's say you want to go black and white into color. Let's get rid of the color part of the first one. That's the lower track. Let's delete that and make sure the auto ripple is off. And let's get rid of the black and white section of the second half. So now I have the exact same piece of footage that was black and white in the beginning, already lined up, and then turns into color. If I put these in the exact same track together now, and I go in the upper left and under the transitions, I pull down a dissolve transition and put that between them, what will happen is Because those are the exact same piece of footage, and I split them I stacked them, I found them exactly. I made one black and white, and I split, and I put a transition. They are perfectly still lined up. And if I go ahead and I go back and I play this footage, what you'll see happening is my black and white footage will slowly start to transition, even though it's a very slow computer that needs to be rendered. It will then turn into colored footage, and you can see the color. Can you see right here the color start to come in? The motion doesn't change. I know this is a little blocky, my old beat up computer, but it'll slowly dissolve. Can you see it slowly dissolving right there? It'll dissolve into the colored section. So if you're trying to get from black and white into color, that's how you do it. Split them, and then split them, make one black and white, and then stack them together and put a dissolve between the two. I do that all the time. Take identical pieces of things that I want one thing to do something and the other to do another thing. A lot of times people will say, like, Daniel, how can I get it to look like I had blurry footage that became clear? I don't know how to do that in Filmora. Make identical versions of the same track, stack them up, make one super blurry and make one crystal clear, right? Then split them in the middle, start with the first half of the blurry, the second half of the clear, and stretch out a dissolve between the two, and it'll start blurry, and it'll slowly fade right into the perfectly aligned clear version. Or vice versa. You can also make your footage start really clear and then get blurry. I do that with a lot of effects. Really cool way to kind of hack around the fact that Filmora doesn't really allow you to slowly dial in effects, but that's a good trick for doing that. What else we got going on? How do you fix edit footage? Wow, fade to black films again. How do you fix edit footage video that have overexposure on an object, like depending? You could do it in color correction, fade to black. Color correction can help. I've done whole videos on color correction. If you are, let me find it. If you are in Filmora, and let me get rid of a piece here. If you right-click on that piece of footage in your left-click on that piece of footage in your timeline, up above, if you're in the color tab, you have video, audio, and color. If you go into advanced, you'll see the advanced color options open up, which give you the ability to do, down here is color. You'll see, let me center a little bit. You have the ability to pull the exposure back, so you can take something that's slightly overexposed and pull the exposure back. That's a good way to help. It also helps if you pull some of the brightness back sometimes. That'll help take a really bright piece of footage and dial back that overexposure. It's not perfect. I try to tell people all the time, try to get your footage and your sound and everything right before you bring it in. If you start with footage that's broken, that has problems, that's overexposed, if your audio has background noise and you're like, how do I get rid of the background noise? Try to solve those first, because if you're in Filmora trying to solve them, it's so much harder, because it's like after the fact, you're already starting with things that aren't right, and you spend more time fixing mistakes instead of taking great footage and great audio and creating a great finished product. So really try to, if you can, solve that beforehand. But in the advanced color correction, I will say Filmora's advanced color correction is pretty good. It's pretty good. They get some good features in there. Be Funky is a killer site. Thanks, Nathan Philby. Absolutely, Be Funky. I think people got mad at me because when I made the video about animation, I tried to find a free site that I thought would do the job, and I didn't explain it well in my video. It was my fault. I tried to find a free site that would do the animation, and the best thing I could find was Be Funky, which wasn't free, but I didn't make that clear. It was $6.99 for an entire month of all of their features, and I went, well, that's a deal. I mean, I'd pay that for like a cup of coffee and a bagel, and I was able to make animation for a month. But yeah, I did my whole animation video with the Be Funky stuff. Their software, super good. It's super good. I love it. Daniel, can you help me access the sample colors, please? Help me access. Neil asked me, Neil Cunningham. Daniel, can you help me access all of the sample colors, please? So there are only certain sample colors, Neil, that come with Filmora. If you are in Filmora, in the upper left, under the media tab, if you click on, right when you're bringing stuff in, click on media. Here's sample colors. It's in the upper left. Click on that. Oops, sorry. Sample colors. Here are all the colors you have. Now, all these sample colors are just something to work with: black, blue, checkerboard, green. This is great for doing green screen when you want to block out some areas. There's some gradients and stuff, but you can bring in any color you want. If you don't see a color that you like here, like if you need a color, like I need a different color than they offer, all these are sample colors to use in your projects, which I use all the time. I have to tell you this. You guys have seen me do this. If I want to create a certain effect, like if I want to create a bluish hue to my footage, I'll drop the color on top of this, right? And then I'll left click on it. In the upper left, I'll click on compositing, and then I'll dial back to compositing and give everything a bluish hue. You can also change the blending mode, so the blue only affects the lightning areas, or the dark, so it can mix to the dark. The blending mode is great. This is a great way to make something look like night. Put a little blue on top, right? And then change the blending mode to darken. And the compositing, you can go, oh, I can make it look like Daniel's here in the middle of the night trying to work in his office. And if you turn it off, it's bright, but it gives you that feel. But anything you bring in, if you went into something as simple as Paint, Microsoft Paint, and made a color, you could bring it right into, import it, just make a 1920 by 1080 aspect ratio color, pick the color, use Paint, blop, whatever paint color you want in there, and import it. You can make your own sample colors if they don't have the color you want. I do that a lot. You can tweak them a little and change the colors, but I'd much rather just go make the color I want to make in Paint. I know I'm an old school. Everybody makes fun of me for using Paint. I have Affinity Photo, but I use Paint as much as Affinity, Microsoft Paint. And just do that. You can just bring a color in. They just give you some to start with to show you, to have some of the ones that people use a lot. Black, green. Green you use a lot because of the green screen stuff. Sometimes you're trying to block some extra green screen out. White, checkerboard, gradients. Yeah. Hope that answered your question. Let's see. What do we got here? I learned so much things today. Thank you for showing never-ending love. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody out there. You guys show me love every single day. I got the best community in the world. That's why I wanted to just come here and talk to you guys in the chat today and chill out on a Saturday night. You guys are so great. And it's funny, my channel varies because of my channel covers how to make better content in order to grow your YouTube channel. So we talk about everything from Filmora to Reaper to any software I happen to be using, and then how to actually grow your channel. And I have the best community. Some of the best questions I get from you guys. You make suggestions, and I'm like, what a great idea. I'm going to do that. And there was a question earlier. Are you going to do more Reaper tutorials? Do me a favor. There's about 83 of us in here. It's a nice chill night. I love this. Did you guys watch the Reaper tutorial I did? Is that something you'd want me to make another follow-up on some of that? I love Reaper. Everyone kept asking me, oh, attorney that rides. Look at you with the 10 spot. Thank you, my friend. What am I gonna buy with that? That's gonna buy me a whole tank of gas for for like the rest of the month. Right there. I haven't even been on my bike yet. I gotta pull the Harley out. Time to pull the girl out of the garage. Yeah, like if you guys like the Reaper one, if you liked Reaper, I'll do more of those. The reason I use Reaper is because it's just got so many great audio options, and you can download it and use it for free, and all the VST plugins I show are for free, and you can make amazing audio. You can do you could produce a rock album or any kind of album with Reaper. That's how good it is. So I wanted to show you guys. Yes, more Reaper I'm seeing in there. Yes, more, please. Awesome. That's Pavi, how you doing? Yes, more Reaper, more coffee. His coffee is good. Absolutely. I will do more Reaper ones, and I have to be careful. I do too many things that push the channel off of its tangent, but I try to sprinkle that stuff in. I love Reaper. I really love Reaper. And I may just be doing some Reaper live streams where I go, listen, I'll figure out a bunch of cool stuff to show you and then do a live stream that'll be there for replay, and we can talk more about Reaper because it's killer. It's so good. The audio options in Reaper, there's another plugin that I want to show you for Reaper that actually, if you, and you guys are in the membership group, right? For you members, remind me in the private Facebook group, there is a free plugin that comes with Reaper that you can, if you have a track, an audio track in Filmora that has a hum or a hiss, you can play that section of hiss, click the button, it detects the hiss, and it samples it, and removes just those frequencies in from your audio. So it'll pull the hiss back, or if it's a hum, it'll pull the hum back, and then you can dial it in. I've used that one a few times when I've been working and I have like a fan going or something, and I'm like, oh, I can hear the fan. I can dial that sound right out. It's the coolest thing ever. Remind me to show you guys that stuff in Reaper. Play the guitar, please. I did say I'd answer any question. I don't really have anything to play. I have so many guitars around here. I don't even know if they're in tune right now. I haven't played, and I've played a little recently, but oh man, I got to get my chops back up. I've been working so hard. I haven't had a second to really nose into playing, and I miss it. Why is Filmora lagging? That's a great question, Owen Hensley. The main reason Filmora lags for anybody, step one, is your system has to meet the minimum system requirements. Your computer, if it does not meet, if you go into Google and just type Filmora tech specs, I made a whole video on this. Filmora 9 tech, TECH specs. You can pull right up the Filmora site that shows you exactly what your computer needs to have for memory, CPU, GPU, in order for it to run properly. And that's the main reason it lags, is that your system doesn't meet specs. Beyond that, it tends to be things like you don't have the GPU acceleration enabled. I try to show people that one all the time. If you are using Filmora, make sure any project, I bet you right now, because I just launched this project, I make this mistake all the time. Watch this one. Upper left, under File, scroll down to Preferences, and a window will open up right here. See where it says Performance? Click on that. Look at this. I'm a real genius, right? None of my GPU acceleration is enabled, which means Filmora is not working with my graphics card or my graphics processing unit the way it's supposed to, which means it's going to move slower. If you do not have this enabled it. Make sure you enable it, click OK, and you will notice that Filmora will tell you, hey, you have to restart Filmora to make sure this takes effect. So you say, okay, I get it, and then just make sure that you turn the program off, start it again, save your project, and start again. I make this mistake all the time because I'm working on a computer that's got a pretty good processor and pretty good graphics card, and it runs pretty well either way. But I always forget to enable the GPU acceleration. Got to do it, because your whole system will slow down if it's not using the graphics card to handle those portions of Filmora, which rely on the GPU instead of the CPU. Another thing is, make sure that in your computer that your drivers are up to date. Whatever you're using for software, make sure that you go, if you had an Intel CPU, go to Intel, make sure that your CPU drivers are updated. If you're using an NVIDIA graphics card, make sure you go to NVIDIA and update the latest drivers so that they're using the right game-ready drivers are the better ones, I've heard. That's what a lot of people tell me. I tend to just update to the most recent drivers and they work well. But that's the main reason. Make sure your system's up to spec. Make sure you've got GPU acceleration enabled. Make sure you have your drivers updated. Do those three things, and Filmora should work fairly flawlessly for you. BBQ Jones, your videos have helped me immensely. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. That means the world to me. That's great. So are you using Filmora? Because I do a bit of both here, BBQ Jones. Is it Filmora stuff has been helping you? Have you looked at any of the channel growth stuff we do? Shout me out in the chat. Let me know which of the videos that have helped you. I'm always trying to figure out what to show everybody, because it's everybody. I try to talk to you individually. When I make a video, I think about you, every one of you individually. Like, I don't think of you guys as a group. I think of you as, all right, if I'm making a video, then I'm talking to the Jester Way right now, right? Or I'm talking to, Owen Hensley, or I'm talking to Ravik Poet. I'm just making this for you. I always think when I film, I'm always talking to one person. But then it's funny when I get all the responses, it always shocks me, like the different things that people liked or disliked about certain tutorials I did, because some of them, like some people will go, that was the biggest help ever. And then some will go like, yeah, that didn't help me at all. I hated it. Stacy, thank you very much. I appreciate that 10 spot. That means so much to me. Daniel, I make custom play buttons and I've sent them around the world. I'm offering you one. Please accept it. Send it to me. If you go to the About tab of my channel, if you go to About, the About tab on my channel, and you scroll down, it has my email in there. Click on that. It'll give you my email. Send it over to me. I'd love to see the custom play button you have going on. Definitely send it my way. Love to see that. And thank you for the 10 spot. I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. What else we got going on? Love from India. Love back at you, my friend. Let's see. Let's say, Daniel, I say voila all the time. It's a great way. I did that. That was the art of success, saying voila. There was a while there that I was making videos and I didn't even realize I was doing it. But whenever I would finish and I'd show the final product, I'd go, and voila. And everyone started making fun of me for it. They like, I'd get comments going like, hey, Daniel, voila. Like, I didn't even realize, like, what am I, a Frenchman? I'm German. I'm German and Lebanese. Who am I saying voila? But yeah, that's funny. I was doing that a lot. That's really funny. Let me see. I got to read some of the questions here. Have you a tip? This is from the Sweeney Chisholms. Have you a tip on using 2 camera or more camera feeds in one audio feed? Yes. That's a great question. So when you're filming, that's on my list to make a video that shows how to use multiple cameras and sync them. You guys have problems with that at all? Trying to sync things, like if you use, even if it's a separate audio track that you may have recorded your audio through something different and you're trying to sync it to your video, or if you're using multiple cameras and you're trying to figure out a way to sync them. The biggest tip that I can give you is make sure, even if you're using like a microphone that's going to like a really good audio recorder, if your other cameras have audio at all, let them record the audio. And the reason is because you can do things like, if you're filming a camera here, and a microphone, and this is the audio you're going to use, but the other cameras have their built-in audio, which may sound like junk because they're so far away. Start your footage by doing this. Like when you get started, look at the cameras and go and clap. I'm trying not to blow your ears out, but just clap some random pattern. And what'll happen is your audio will spike for every clap. It'll go spike, 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 spike. And in your video footage, you'll see your hands coming together. So if you take the audio footage in your, let me see if I can pull up Filmora here. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find this. I don't have a spiked footage in here, but I can show you this. If you look at your audio footage, let me go lower left. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of some of this. I'm trying to show you some of this stuff here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to delete that. Let me detach the audio so it would make more sense. So let's say you had, let me get rid of all this stuff. If I can show you something that I don't have a specific clip of that, but let's say you had these tracks, lower left. This is, if this is your footage, right? You have your footage, here's one camera, and then here's an audio track. You would look for these spikes, and if it's a clap, it'll be when you clap, it makes this really sharp audio spike. It just goes up and down really fast, not a slow roll. So you can see it in your audio track. And because your video tracks, your camera footage, will also have audio attached, you'll see in each little video track those little spikes as well. All you do is drag them and line them up so the two things match, and then you'll have something that that's a lot easier to sync. I do this all the time. I'm going to use the exact same footage right here. Let's say this is the exact same footage. Let me just make this a little more usable. Lower left. Let me delete this. Okay, here's a piece of footage, right? Let me copy this. Let's pretend that I filmed this with another camera and I brought it into Filmora and I put it into like another track up top. Watch, I'm going to freeze out this now. Here's where you'll see, if you go lower left, this is about as close as I can get. Can you see, let me go back. Can you see these tracks? Let me stretch this out as far as I can go. Can you see some of the audio spikes here? Let me get these lined up. Let me see if I can make this happen. See how this audio has a lump right here and a lump right here? Those are the things I start looking for. If this was a different track and I went, oh, wait a minute, see how I can see that hill right there? But down in this one below it, this track here, the hill starts before it. So I'll just grab them. I'll try to stretch the footage out. I try to stretch the timeline out as far as I can. And then I just try to get the footage to line up so that the audio portions of it match, so that the waveforms match. And if you clap and make that spike, it's super easy to see, because then they're not only in the audio, but even if the audio is not great, you can see your hands coming together. And if it's a pattern where you go like clap, 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 you can't miss it, because it's like spike, 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 spike. And in the video, your hands are going clap, 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 clap. You line them all up at the beginning, and then usually most of your stuff will stay aligned throughout the project. Sometimes you have to go back in halfway through if you're filming for 14, 15 minutes and realign things. You'd have to realign it. Wow, another 5-spot from the attorney that rides. I need more transitions, but I don't see Filmora sells a big batch of different ones. Can I import off-brand transitions into my Filmora library? No, attorney that rides. You cannot import separate transitions into the transitions folder unless you get them from film stocks. So I just said yes and no at the same time. How much of an answer was that? Film stocks, when you buy specific Filmora packs, some of them come with extra features, certain sounds, certain effects that go in there, and sometimes they actually have an extra little transition feature that goes along with it. You have to look. They all have different sections. You can look at each effects pack in film stocks, and it'll tell you, hold on a second, I want to keep two things open here, because there's another answer I want to give you. Let me just pull something up here. I want to pull up film stocks. Let me go over here to my other screen. There's a reason I'm building another computer, because this one's slow. But if you click on one of the effects packs that you're using, and you when it opens it up, if you look down here, do you see this one says this effects pack has 11 different titles. It has 6 different elements, 4 new transitions, 2 overlays. So each effects pack from Filmora, from film stocks that you get, can give you more stuff that will load into your transitions. But as far as I know, you can't bring other transitions and load them into your transitions folder. Like, you can't just click on the transitions tab and go, yeah, I found this one somewhere else. It's now in my transitions. But what you can do is bring them in as a feature, and just like you would import a piece of footage. I did this recently when I was showing the motion graphics thing. There was a wave. Let me do this. From Production Crate, right? Here's Production Crate. I showed you guys how we'll find stuff here. Here's the search bar. I'm going to type in wave. There was a, maybe was it graphics? Let me see if I can find it. They had some, there was a wave transition that I used that was available I'm not going to be able to find it, but there was one. They're in here somewhere. They have so much things in here. It's going to take me forever to find it. But it was something like a wave or a swirl. I don't know. If you look around, you'll find it. But there was VFX graphics, swirls. There are some certain transitions that you can find in Production Crate. The one I had used in that video was it looked like water came up. It looked like the rising tide. It was like water came up, filled the screen, and went back down. And you put it in between, overlaid between 2 different clips. And I had one clip running. The water came up, and when the water went back down, I had the other clip underneath it. And it looked like the water rose up, went back down, and then the next clip was there. So it actually was a transition. Production Crate has some of those free ones that are kind of cool. There's a swirly motion I used. If you dig through there, I could spend hours talking about Production Crate. Some of it's paid. I think it's $50 for the whole year, and you get everything. I paid for the $50. I'm like, give me everything. It was so great. But yeah, you can do it that way. My attorney that rides. You can get them, bring them in, and put them on top of 2 pieces of footage. So if you had 2 pieces of footage in your timeline where you normally would put a transition in between, download this other transition piece. They're usually transparent backgrounds, and just lay it over the top and a track right above it, and it'll happen. And by the time it goes away, it usually fills your screen. The next thing will be exposed. So that's a cool way to get around that. Next picture, Andreas. Is there a function to move tracks precise without the cursor? Order disable. What, you German? Order disable the magnetic mode. Yes. Let me explain this one. This is one, you know what? Let me get serious for a minute. I know I'm just kind of goofing through some questions here. This is a really serious one that I think a lot of people don't get right, and I want to make sure that I show you this one, okay? When you are, let me share my screen. When you are using Filmora 9, in the lower left, down here, do you see right here? It's right in the corner of your timeline. See this little chain link with a line through it? That turns on and turns off your auto ripple. And auto ripple is the ability that if you remove something from your project, that everything snaps into line. It all snaps together. If there's something you pull out or you insert, if you bring a piece down into your project and you've got 12 tracks going on, if you put a new piece in one of those tracks at the beginning, it'll take all 12 tracks and slide them over so that everything remains time aligned. The problem is that people don't know they can turn that on and off, and either it's set to off and things aren't snapping together properly, or they got it on and then they're trying to move things independently and they're not moving independent because the auto ripple's on. Make sure you understand that that auto ripple controls right here that snap. So like if I were to, let me do this. I'm going to start. Right now I have two pieces of footage on two tracks that are right to the beginning of my project. I'm right at the start. If I took the sample color black, let me give you the whole screen. Right there. If I took a sample color black and I wanted to put it into the beginning of, I'm stuttering, the beginning of track number 1, and I didn't want just track number 1, like maybe I have these perfectly aligned, but I want to start with a bit of black. If I bring that down, let me scroll out a bit so you can see what I'm doing or else you won't be able to see this. If I have the auto ripple off, right now it's in the off position. If I bring the black down and put it in the first track, let me shrink this. What it just did, let me get rid of this other stuff so I don't confuse you. It just stuck that before this and didn't affect this other one, right? Let me undo that now. If I had two pieces of footage that were perfectly aligned here, and I did the exact same motion, but I had the auto ripple on. Now it's on. See, I've clicked this button so that the line's not through it. If I bring that piece of black down before, now it moves both of them over because I've told it to auto ripple. Whatever I do to one track, the whole project should be affected. And one of the things that auto ripple makes cool is, look, if I want to shrink the black, I can left click and I go, oh, it's too much black at the beginning. I want it only to be this long. See how both tracks now move? That's because I have the auto ripple on. If I had the auto ripple off and did the same move, now it just moves the black because it's not telling it to affect the entire project. People get confused by this. You got to make sure you understand how both auto ripple on and auto ripple off move, including things like I've taught you guys how to click on a space. If you have a space between pieces of footage, you can click delete on your keyboard and it'll move everything back together. That's super important for trying to get rid of some of those spaces that you don't want. But one of the tricky things is a lot of times I'll see people do this. They say, why won't stuff move? Like they'll go, let me see. Let me split this. I'm going to split the top piece. Let me do this. Split the top piece of footage. Let me lock the bottom one. Let me split the top piece of footage and I'm going to leave a gap. Okay. Can you see what I've got going on here? I have a project with the auto ripple turned on and I have a gap here. And what'll happen is a lot of times people go like, I tried to bring down a piece of footage or something, but it didn't align right. It was giving me trouble because it didn't automatically fill that gap. Well, what happens is if you try to get rid of that gap and you've got the auto ripple on, it can have problems moving these gaps appropriately because it doesn't know what it's supposed to do. There's sometimes you'll have like, I'm trying to move things and they didn't snap together because there's a track below it that is unmovable. Like if I move this top one, this left one can't go any farther left. So sometimes when the auto ripple's on, you'll bring something down and go, why didn't it snap into place? And it's only because you've got the auto ripple on. So knowing how to use the auto ripple in both the on and off positions, I kind of do. I don't even think about it. I kind of do it naturally. I jump back and forth. Really get to know, sometimes when you want to freeform move stuff in different tracks without affecting your whole project, leave the auto ripple off. If you want to bring things down and have them snap together quickly, leave the auto ripple on. But it is constrained by how many other things in the project can't move left. If auto ripple can't push things together because you have 16 tracks and the stuff is already pushed all the way to the start, so if you move everything left, it would have to push things before the start, which you can't do. So it'll get hung up and go, I can't do what you want me to do. That's when you have to turn the auto ripple off and tell it, listen, I know this is going to set the project out of alignment. I want it to do that. Auto ripple off. So spend some time really getting to use the on and off features of auto ripple. Really, really powerful stuff. You get a timeout. Can I get a moderator? You just got one. You're in a timeout. Shanda, what are you doing over there? Keep it down. Sky Crappy Catching Adventures. SK's Crap. I always get your name wrong. SK's Crappy Catching Adventures. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. What else did I miss for questions in here? I'm scrolling a bit. Yes, absolutely book some this. Thank you for the push there, Trey. I appreciate it. You can always book time with me or join the memberships group. The memberships group's fantastic. And it's $5 a month. Cheap living. Quick tip, read the help section of Filmora. There's loads of gold in there. Oh my God, digital tools of the trade. You were so right. If you spend a little time actually reading some of the data that comes with Filmora, the website itself is really good too. If you go to the Filmora website, they've got so much great information that solve most people's problems. I think sometimes people run into trouble and they don't know what to do, and they immediately feel like someone help me, and because they don't realize there's so many resources out there that can actually get you through it. But yeah, Filmora has a great database, including the YouTube channel. Filmora's YouTube channel is fantastic. I think it's one of the best ones out there. Yeah, Blender. AIMS, AIMS. We call that Airsoft. 3D animation from time to time. Thanks for Blender. I almost bought the 3D Studio. Blender is amazing. Blender, you can make like Pixar type movies. Like, it's really good. And it's all open source. It's so great. You can do so much with it. Let me see. Hey, Daniel from Sled. Is there a way to do motion track text in Filmora? I've showed how to do this. You can manually move the text. I've done it frame by frame. The way that Filmora is currently set up, if you bring text down into your timeline, pretty much whatever you do with the text, there's built in. You can left click and you'll get animations up top. You see this animation tab. You can select animations and make it do things, which is cool. You know, you can make it move certain ways. You can have it fly in. You can have it rotate in. That's cool. But a lot of times it's like you want it to move a certain way. The only way really to do that is to really break it up frame by frame. I've showed this. You can only manually keyframe, and it's a pain in the butt, but it does work. You can go, if I were to do this, I would stretch my timeline line out as far as I could go, right? I'd lock all the other tracks so I don't affect them. Here's my text. I'd go one frame forward. I would split that. I'd left click to highlight the rest of this text track. And from my keyboard, let's say I wanted to move to the right. I would use the right arrow of my keyboard and click it over an exact amount of frames. Maybe that's 2 right arrow clicks. 1, 2, right? Then I move another frame forward. I split. I left click on this remaining section and I click 2 more times. 1, 2. Then I would go forward, split again, left click on this and highlight. 2 more frames, 1, 2, and you can do it frame by frame like that, splitting them. I do this kind of quickly because I've done it so many times. I know how to just quickly split, and then people ask me like, that's too long. It's like, no, I do this all the time. And you can frame it so that you can move the frames themselves, so when you actually roll through it, it'll slowly start moving your text left to right because you adjusted it frame by frame and manually told it to move in this direction. Your keyboard has, if you're a PC user, has left and right arrows and up and down. So if you break up the frame and then use the arrows to go, and do it consistently. I'm gonna go up two clicks per frame. I'm gonna go up, or up and then to the right one, whatever. As long as you do it consistently, that text will manually keyframe in that direction. But it's a little painstaking. I mean, in a perfect world, I'd love to have keyframing where you could tell Filmora, the text is here. I want it to end up here. keyframe the motion in between. So here's start, here's end. You do the rest. Hopefully, Filmora is going to do that for us in the future. I'd love to see that feature show up. I think it would be killer. That motion tracking, keyframing, and audio effects, and you'll never hear me complain again. We'll never complain again. Let me see what else we got. Can you please make a video so that's what? Can you please make a video in so that's why we can understand easily? Can you please form a question so that I can understand easily? You mean on keyframing the motion? Were you asking about that? Can you do 20th Century Universal, Disney, any of these custom intro projects? No. I'll tell you one thing. You actually can't even. I did the Marvel Studios intro. Did you see that? I've got 2 videos that did the whole Marvel movie intro. But I couldn't use any of the characters. I had to totally fake it. The problem is they all own that stuff, and if I try to replicate it, in the Marvel one I did was fun because I was a comic book geek since I was a kid. But you can't really use their exact thing. And like the Universal one has a whole spinning 3D thing. That's much better served in Premiere Pro because you can't create 3D text and rotate. I think that's the ones you're talking about. A lot of these like Universal ones, it's like the word Universal in 3D text wraps around the globe. Nah, man, that's super advanced level stuff that Filmora really isn't built to do. It isn't. You can do simpler stuff. I did do the Marvel one, which was not really simple, but it took me 2 very long videos to kind of fake my way through it. But some of them, a lot of people have asked me to do the Netflix one. I might do that one. People keep asking me, can you replicate the Netflix intro? And it's really kind of simple. I might do that one because that one we could do. That one's not too much trouble. All right, listen, I answered a bunch of questions today. I hope that I answered the questions that you were looking for today. I just wanted to hang out and, shoot the you-know-what with you guys tonight. I hope you guys are staying safe. As always, anytime you have questions, go to any one of my videos. I don't care if your question has anything to do with my video or not. Drop it right in the comments section. I try to read all of my comments. So if you ask me a question anywhere on my channel, I try to answer it. Doesn't matter if it's related to the video you dropped it in or not. And also use the search function on my homepage of my channel so that if you're looking for a specific thing like a zoom or a movie or an effect, type it into the search bar of my channel. And a lot of times you can find things like how to do a timer or how to do a certain effect. It's right there inside of my channel. It's just if you use the search bar, you'll be able to find it easy. So make sure you use that too. Thank you guys for all the time you spent with me today. I hope you guys are staying safe. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for the new members. Make sure you check out the community tab and get into our members only Facebook group where we do these conversations every day. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Take care of your families and make some more content. It's never been a better time to grow your YouTube channel than now. So make sure you guys keep making content because we're about to blow things up here. The channels are growing left, right, and center. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. Stay safe. Peace.